Well, hello and welcome to a new video. We are going to take a look at the performance of the Nvidia Quadro RTX 5000 90-watt version in the game Monster Hunter Wilds, and we're gonna use the ultra settings preset without any ray tracing available to us here at 4040p. So let's go and start off this benchmark, because this benchmark actually uses, or this game probably is going to use a lot of VRAM. And since this RTX 5000 actually has 16 gigabytes of it, we probably should be fine here, while a lot of other cards, like for example the RTX 4050 with 6 gigabyte, which is around the same in rasterization performance as this one here is, but definitely has only 6 gigabyte of VRAM. And as you can see, we're already using 12 of that. Is probably going to struggle a lot more than what we are here. So yeah, the RTX 5000 definitely should have a lot more headroom to play with here, due to the fact that it's better suited for modern 2025 titles. And if this game is any indication as to how the games are going to develop and are going to be developed in the next few years, then yeah, I think 4 gigabyte cards are definitely dead already, while 6 and 8 gigabyte cards are soon to follow. And 12 gigabyte cards are probably going to be the bare minimum, while the 16 gigabyte here are still going to be plenty for the next years, I guess. So yeah, obviously this is inside the Lenovo Thinkpad P1 Generation 1, which means that not only do we have the RTX 5000 as well as the i7-10875H in here, but we also do have 32 gigabyte of dual channel memory. Alright, yeah, and I've just tested this game actually at 1080p with the high settings preset on my RTX 4050, and I saw some very strange behavior on that card, so I'm very curious to find out if we're going to see something similar here, due to the fact that obviously we are now having 16 gigabytes available of system VRAM here for us. And yeah, I think it was around the same performance as we are seeing here right now with the 4050, or it was definitely not the same, it was worse performance than what we're seeing here with the 4050, but I can see now that that definitely was due to the lacking VRAM and not due to the rasterization performance of this card. But where I definitely saw a heavy performance drop was in the next sections, and obviously the first section actually is the lightest one to run on the system, so we're gonna see a few performance drops in the next few seconds, and then there's probably going to be the hardest to run area of this benchmark in a couple of seconds later on. And yeah, but the main thing is that we definitely can see that we are not seeing any of this micro stutters or really lag spikes, which I saw extremely apparent on the RTX 4050 or RTX 1008 generation. So that's very interesting to me, and that really means that you're definitely going to have a lot better time playing on this one here instead of the RTX 1000. Because if you get a consistent 20 FPS here, that definitely means that you could just turn down the settings a little bit more and be absolutely fine to play through the game. While with the VRAM issues I've seen on the 4 and 6 gigabyte cards in this game, that really means that you are not going to have an enjoyable experience in this game. Because it seems to me that it ran out of VRAM and ran into issues just a few minutes after starting the game with the 4050. So yeah, that's definitely a difference which was very, very noticeable and has been very apparent, while we are seeing very consistent performance here. Like with the 4050, we're dropping into like 20 watts and 30 watts of power usage on this card, due to the fact that we simply ran out of VRAM completely, I guess, and had to spill over into system memory, which meant that we were still seeing 100% GPU utilization, while at the same time obviously not really being able to utilize the rasterization performance of this GPU. Yeah, that was really sad to see, because it definitely meant that, yeah, with this lacking VRAM capacity of the other card, that really means that you are not going to have a very enjoyable experience in this game. While obviously with a much older card like this one here, you're definitely gonna have an enjoyable experience. I mean, if we were to turn this down to 1080p, then obviously you were absolutely fine. And if we turn it down even in the settings from ultra settings to something like high, uh, and maybe fiddle around a little bit more with these settings, then you're absolutely going to be fine in this game and have a very much playable experience throughout. So yeah, definitely a lot better than what I've seen so far with the RTX 4050, and I can definitely recommend that you are not going to buy this game. That you should not buy this game if you actually do have something like a 6 GB or even a 4 GB VRAM card, which would be even worse, obviously, because that would mean that even in the first seconds of the game, you would already run out of VRAM available to you, and that probably was going to suck for the rest of the game. But yeah, with the 16 GB, we're absolutely fine. Rasterization performance obviously is a little bit lacking here on this card, which means that, yeah, I guess 1440p is playable. It's just not going to be the most enjoyable experience here, at least at the ultra settings, but obviously that's not what you do have to choose here. And I think the game also looks just fine on the medium settings as well, so yeah, you can definitely play this game absolutely fine and have a very much enjoyable experience on here.